Name of the school you're at?
Oh, it's called the Crane School of Music at SUNY Potsdam.
Sheesh. Potsdam, Crane. Where is Potsdam? Is that
It's like in northern New York, upstate.
northern? Okay.
Yeah.
So about 4 or 5 hours. Oh boy, that is very true. Okay, let's move over a little bit. Okay. Do you want to move over just a little bit? It looks like we have some water.
Someone needs a big stick.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot. We need Teddy Roosevelt in here.
Shower time.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, let's do that again. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Wow, you guys, after all these years being together, you just nailed it perfectly. We're so happy to invite everyone here tonight. It's always so meaningful to see our group every week. It's a little different. And we're also excited to welcome our virtual group on my phone over there, going out to the world, whoever's out there. And I am delighted to be leading with Dr. Yonina Foster again. Next week we will be back for the first time since the second week in July, and Cantor Frank and I will be leading together. It's a very unusual summer that way because of the cruise and the festivities at the beginning of the summer. We are going to have a service dedicated to High Holidays. If you saw, there are 2 different calendars available. There's still some, so if you want either a Mesnikov or an Amherst Memorial, that means High Holidays is on the way. And tonight is Rosh Chodesh Elul. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but that is the month leading up to High Holidays. So we're going to be doing some melodies in honor of this very special occasion. And we're going to begin in our prayer book, our Siddur, on page 653 with a line from Song of Songs, the Song of Solomon, Shir HaShirim, which is dedicated to the month of Elul. And in the middle of the service, I'll tell them why. We'll leave it a mystery, but see if you can figure it out. 653 and Mishkan Shalom we're using.
Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Mi zot ola min hamidbar, mi zot ola mikutet mor ulevona. Moru levona, Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Libavtini achoti kala, libavtini kala, libavtini achoti kala, libavtini kala. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Uri tzafon uvo iteman. Uri tzafon uvo iteman. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Oh, they sound wonderful.
I was just going to say
Yay!
that. I was like, wow, we got a group of
Nice
singers
job.
today. Look at that.
How you doing?
Thank you, really nice.
My beloved is mine, and I am my beloved's, a shepherd among the lilies. Who is this that comes up from the desert, fragrant with myrrh and frankincense. You have captured my heart, my sister, my bride. Awake, O north wind, come, O south wind. All these years later, we don't actually know. These words are ascribed to Solomon. Believe it or not, this book, Song of Solomon, almost didn't make it into the canon because it's risque when you look at it from a yeshiva bacher standpoint. And the way that you get into the canon 2,000 years ago is you say, well, Solomon wrote this. If you give it a good author, J.K. Rowling, it'll probably do pretty well at the box office. So they assigned it to Solomon. They said it's not really a love affair between a man and a woman, between a human couple. It's really between us and God. That's what he's talking about. You believe it, right? Why don't we take a nice deep breath of Shabbat air? We breathe in everything that we want to hold on to this week. Take a moment just to think about a couple of memories. I had my mom and mother-in-law in. We had a wonderful time. First time we went to Lockport Caves. Beautiful there. Well worth the trip if you haven't done it. You need a little dexterity, so wouldn't recommend it if you're a little shaky at foot. But wonderful, wonderful place. And we breathe out everything. We don't even need to think about that. Breathe it right out. Just as we were singing about a bride and a groom, we have one that is just walked in. Kirsty and Barry over here. They just were married right over there. They set up their wedding. The chuppah, our synagogue chuppah, was right out there, and Kirsty walked right down the aisle over here. Beautiful. They spent her daughter's friend, they decorated this whole place. It looked beautiful. It was wonderful. And we have a wedding on Sunday too, which is also really nice. We are going to, well, I have here Bruce, but Bruce isn't here today. I think there's Stooge Fest today, so we lose out to, if you know, in Tonawanda, there's something he was telling me about last night. It's apparently they show, I read it in the paper, they show 7 straight Stooge movies. At the end, if you're not going, no. Oh, maybe not. Maybe there's another thing going on. It's the Bills game, yeah. It's so busy this time of year, so we'll forgive Bruce. He makes it, of the 52 services, I think he makes it to 50 of them, yeah. Yeah, exactly, 55 of them. But we're so delighted to have everyone here for our service. Again, I'm leading with Dr. Yonina Foster, and this is Adam Biter's final time working as our technician, so we thank him. We are going to turn to candle blessing at 1:20, and can we bring the newlyweds up, Kirsty and Barry? Just all you have to do is press the buttons underneath. We were talking how we were singing the love song for the month of Elul. So if you just want to reach underneath, we have 2 different ones. One of them broke. That one was dedicated to Paul Staley, I said. And the other one is our normal one. Wonderful, you guys passed the test, okay. The prayer is on page 120. Do you want to lead it together? Sure. Okay, come on. Here, we have it right here. Don't worry, I got a prayer book right here. I was just telling them about your beautiful wedding and how you walked right down the aisle right over there. Here. Coming with me? Okay. Tingles there, that was wonderful. All right, we're gonna, if you want to, Kirsty, if you want to lift the Kiddush cup there, and we'll say together, Yonina will lead us on page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei V'Hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu Shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit kilu yom tehillah lamikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta Yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh ha'shabbat
L'chaim!
Chaim.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
It's good.
There's nothing in there yet. One of these days we're going to get around. It's all these little things with COVID, right? Most things are working like normal, but little things like that, we still haven't gotten it back yet. Let's turn to L'chadodi and officially welcome the Shabbat bride in. Page 138. We're going to sing the first and the last verse, first 1 and 9. On the last verse, we rise and we face out in the field, imagining Shabbat walking towards us. We bow to her, and then we welcome one. Not quite yet, Marjorie. Then we welcome everyone like this. We'll give you the cue. Don't worry. You're good. You're good. It's no worries at all.
L'chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela L'chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad Hishmi'anu el hamichad Adonai echad U'shemo echad L'shem u'tiferet v'litala L'chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela L'chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela Bo'i v'shalom ha'terev bala Gam b'shimcha u'b'zohala Tov emunei amsidula Bo'i
Welcome one another as we turn to each other.
L'chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela L'chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela.
We remain standing for our call of community, page 146. What a glorious community we are tonight together. The Barfu.
Oh my gosh, I just did High Holy Days.
Let's do it.
Oh
Let's
my gosh.
Get ourselves ready. Yeah. Dr. Foster is leading High Holiday. I can't remember where she's leading. Where are you leading?
Rest in Virginia. If any of you have friends, I'll say hello to somebody.
So she's been practicing. But yeah, let's hear it. Come on, let's hear a little High Holiday.
Oh, that was actually the Shema. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavarach. Baruch Adonai hamavarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai hamavarach le'olam va'ed. I kind of mixed the two together.
Well, we have a month to go. So.
Yes.
Page 149 at the bottom. Let's read together in honor of Elul. This is an hour of change. Within it stand uncertain on the border of life. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or a crossover? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or crossover? Baruch atah Adonai Ha'ma'ariv. All this time I never noticed this is an hour of change. That's different than the hour in. Anyways, let's turn to the Shema, page 152, 153.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Shem Kavod. You may be seated, and in honor of Adam's final time here, we're not going to let you off the hook without singing the V'ahavta, page 150.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol miyodecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam B'shivtecha b'beitecha, u'v'lechtecha b'derech, u'v'shofecha, u'v'kumecha, u'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein heinecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha. Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
He does go to the Crane School of Music. Somewhere out in Prague, Mr. Horowitz is smiling. Why don't we read the English there on 155? Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God. And we continue with the Crossing of the Sea, page 158, the Michamocha.
Michamocha, 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 Michamocha be'elim Adonai. Michamocha, Michamocha, Michamocha. Mi kamocha, mi kamocha, mi kamocha, nedar b'kodesh, Norah tilot, osei feleh, Norah tilot, osei feleh, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la. Ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Machutecha ra'uvanecha V'hokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam Moshe u'Miriam Ze'eli anu ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam, le'olam va'ed. V'nemar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
Let's read together on 159, the English. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished. A gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed. The song of peace. We could all use a little song of peace. I invite you to rise. If you're able, 164. Take some time. Move around. Don't just stay in one place. Find your place of holiness here. And take a couple of minutes either in the prayers from 164 to 180, or just the prayers of your heart to say what you need for yourself, to God, for the world, and we'll resume in a couple of minutes. And whenever you're ready, you may be seated.
Hashkivenu ya Eloheinu leshalom. Hashkivenu ya Eloheinu leshalom. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Gently tuck us in at night, dear God. Gently tuck us in at night, dear God. And spread over all of us your sukkah of peace. And spread over all of us your sukkah of peace. Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yase shalom, yase shalom. Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yase shalom, yase shalom. Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
Yeah, the Hashkivenu, one of those melodies for High Holy Days. We are going to turn our attention now to our prayers of healing. So many of us in our community could use healing, and we're going to send our attention that way to those of us here and anyone in our circles that we're thinking about. Thinking about Benny Berger, who has been in the hospital but is now back home. We pray and hope for her recovery. and for her family as well. And we'll go around. And if you have other names, just feel free to call. The prayer is going to be on 371.
Michael Bernstein.
Roberta Friedman, and Madeline Scott.
Ronald Witt.
We bring all those names into our heart. Again, the prayer is on page 371.
Misheberach avotenu mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor havracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
A complete healing of body and soul. May our healing energy go out to those that are needed and those of us in our space here today. All right, I have a very, very important question for you. I'm very curious about this. So I started this service by saying we have our two calendars available, and Adam already picked up his because he's, in addition to doing this, he's also the Hillel president. So he's all ready. He'll have his Buffalo connection with the calendar there. But how many of you actually use paper calendars still? Oh boy, look at this. We got a little neophobic guy here. It's so funny how everything has changed so dramatically, right? There are these wonderful carbon calendars that Joanne orders for our staff. And for some of us, it's vital. They write in every little detail. And then some, it's on our synagogue calendar, online. It's hard to tell what a calendar is. So many things have changed because all you do is you type in, and hopefully you type the right thing. I find with the digital calendar, sometimes I think I wrote the right thing in, and it ends up on a completely other date. One time I found something recently, I wrote in last year, and it showed up this year. I said, well, that is strange. Luckily, I did arrive at the right place, so that was a good thing. But the calendar is not just about the paper or the electronic calendar copy. It is actually how we think about our life and our days. A lot of us here probably are used to kind of knowing what day it is based on the newspaper when you wake up. Is that when you were, I don't know, how many of you still get newspapers? Yeah, a lot of you, yeah, when you look on the newspaper in the morning. I have to always double check the date. And it's really bad, especially for anniversaries. We had our date-iversary last week when Ashir and I met. And of course, I have no idea. I know we're in August, but if you ask me the date, like if I have to write out a check, I'm definitely going to be lost. But there is that sense that we try to kind of keep track of our lives. And some of us are really good, right to the dot. You probably know every minute. The doctor, they're always asking you, what's the date, right? Especially if you're in the hospital. What are you doing? Where are you at this moment? But it's also kind of how we conceive of our lives. And when we think about the Jewish calendar has a start date. What month is it going to start in the English calendar here? September, right? Because our Jewish year starts somewhere September, October. So it's always starting there with Rosh Hashanah, which is now 1 month away. So that is the beginning of the year. We're in 5783, and a month from now we'll be in 5784. And we know that we're kind of proceeding through the calendar. Just like in the English calendar, we know December 31st, January 1st, suddenly things switch over. You got to remember to change things on your checkbook, and we'll be in 2023 at that point. Hard to believe, right? Some of the people leaving in the parking lot last week, they showed me their passports, and some of them had phrases like this, dates, like a timeline, right? One way to think the way that we think about our lives. That is not moving outward, but it's different circles with different events. And that is a very different way of thinking about life. When we think about the Jewish year, yes, the Jewish year is officially starting in a month. But we also know there are at least 4 different Jewish New Years, right? Elul, first of all, Elul that we have tonight, that is one of the Jewish New Years. Tu B'Shvat that we have, the beginning of the month of Nisan is also a new year. These are all moments that we can think about it. In the biblical times, the first of Nisan, if you look in the Torah and you wonder why Rosh Hashanah, it says, is the 7th month, because they're starting their calendar on Nisan with Passover as the beginning of the year. So when we think about the Jewish calendar, it is really helpful to me. It's a much better way of thinking about our life is a progression, a circle. Because in a circle, it's not about the beginning and end point, or you left here and you'll never return. It's about always arriving back. When we come into High Holidays in just a month, it is about arriving back at that moment that you had last year, the year before that. It's about re-experiencing that moment again. A great wisdom that I had when I was in Atlanta, someone said to me, one of the congregants there, they said that they don't keep their birthday as 1, 2, 3, 4. They go 1 to 18, and then they start over again. And so you're always on some part of that 1 through 18, no matter how old you've been here, because they're always returning back. So as we think about the month of Elul, this is one, I think, of the beginning of the high holiday season. This is the beginning of my year. This is the beginning of the year where people like Yonina and I start really preparing. This is the time we get to work. I talked to someone recently, they said they always start 7 weeks before, which is the holiday, the Memorial Day of Tisha B'Av, and that's one way of starting high holidays. But we all start at different points. Sometimes in thinking about our lives this way, not as a race to get to any one point, but as a journey that we go, picking up things, experiencing, perhaps having different events, calamities that happen in our life, and then returning together to meeting points. Tonight, this service, the month of Elul, is a meeting point. So as we began the service, I said that Elul is the month of love, the month where we say, Ani l'dodi v'dodi li. Does anyone know why? We don't have Harvey here, so I'm really glad I'm asking this question. Because Harvey Horowitz, those of you know, he knows everything. So I can't get anything past him. Okay. So Charlie knows. Oh, okay, let's hear.
I know why he's not here.
Oh, well, you know why he's not here. Yeah, he's on a cruise. In the Danube, yeah. I thought you were going to answer. Well, so,
Only if nobody else.
all right, so, well, hold on. Let's give them a chance. So the central phrase from the Song of Solomon that we say at weddings is Ani l'dodi v'dodi li. So let's say the Hebrew letters starting the acronym. Ani, Aleph. Dodi, lidodi, lamed, dodi, vav, li, elul. Okay? So they looked at this phrase, ani lidodi, vidodi li, And they said Elul. Elul is the month of love. And I love that because in a wedding ceremony, we have lots of circles. We have our wedding rings, we have the circling of the bride and the groom, and we have that sense of circles in their life. So, as we go forward, we're going to actually bless this day of Elul, and your Nina has a special blessing. But let us not think of our life like a line. Think about the circle. Oh, I wanted to tell you, in the Talmud they said the ideal space at the end of time, this is at the end of the Talmud tractate Ta'anit on fasting. It says at the end of time, all of the righteous will stand in a circle, pointing forward, and look in the middle and say, "This is my God." God will sit in the middle. And you know, when they point forward and you're in a circle, you're pointing at one another. You all see one another. That's what the Hora is to the Hora. So, let us do our blessing.
It's actually, I
I
think, in the insert. It ought to be in the insert too. Do you mind?
Oh, sure. Oh, okay, Nancy might have put it wrong. It depends on whether we catch her. Nancy gets things ready in our office. She gets ready very early, so if you
Oh,
don't
I
get
guess
it
it
to her
was-
by Thursday
That's
afternoon,
okay.
it's Marcia
That's okay.
knows it's done,
I
right?
sent it to her. It may not have
She
gotten it.
finishes very early.
Is there something in there that
Does
says
anyone have an insert?
or
Is there?
chadash? I don't know. If not, it's okay.
Yes, it's at the bottom.
Oh, thank you
there
so
we go.
much. Where is it?
Thank you,
It says
Susan.
Rosh Chodesh candle lighting, or Kadash, not or Kadash, it's on the bottom of the.
Yes, yes, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. In the middle. Open it up, and it'll be at the bottom. Thank
In
you
the
so
middle
much. Right here.
section. Yeah, I see it. I have to throw my
We have to
glasses.
do-
Oh, right.
Okay, so it goes like this. Or chadash ma'or kadmon tinaseh nafshi elecha bishmei chodesh bishmei chodesh bishmei chodesh. What is the month? Elul. Let's do that one more time then, now that you've heard it. I don't expect you to know it yet, but Or Chadash Ma'or Kadmon Tinaseh Nafshi Elecha Bishmei Chodesh Bishmei Chodesh Bishmei Chodesh Elul.
And right above it, we have a Chad Sha'alti. So that is the song of High Holidays, so the Psalm 127. And we also, it is in your prayer book.
Right, it is.
On page 662. I knew I missed something.
That's all right. However, pay attention. I apologize about this, but I have this singable English translation, which is right above what you just read. But all the words are not. So the Hebrew is going to be on page 662, and that English translation's in the handout. Achat sha'alti meyet Hashem ota avakesh. Achat sha'alti meyet Hashem ota avakesh. Shifti bevet Hashem kol yemei chayai lachazot benoam benoam Hashem ulevaker becholo lachazot benoam benoam Hashem ulevaker bechalo. One thing I ask of you, I earnestly pray for. One thing I ask of you, I earnestly pray for, that I may dwell in your house my life, knowing the beauty of you, and to dwell in your holy place, knowing the beauty of you, and to dwell in your holy place. Can I just say one thing, Okay, so this is all about Elul. And there's going to be a little program starting on Tuesday. If you're interested, you can talk to me afterwards. But the reason I've done this, and Achat Sha'alti is actually in your prayer book, is Psalm 27, by some people in our tradition, is said throughout Elul. So pick up a book of Psalms, take this home with you, look at your prayer book, and figure out why Psalm 27 is in there. So every day you're having the opportunity. And every day, do you know what you're supposed to hear? Take out that bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah shofar, pull out that shofar sitting on your cabinet that never gets blown, and try to blow it. Try to blow it every day, because what's supposed to happen? Do you actually know? I know I'm not on for this. Oh my gosh, here I go. Okay, I know that, yeah? It is awakening. Your heart is supposed to break open. And every day you are supposed to listen to the shofar. What do I need to wake up for? Because remember, teshuvah, tefillah, tzedakah, all those ways for us to avoid that decree is what it's about this month, our introspection, looking within, checking out our behavior. And every day you're supposed to hear that shofar. And even if you can't blow it or you don't have one to blow, imagine the shofar blowing. Put it on YouTube. Wake up, because you see what we're doing to this earth, your body, mind, and spirit. If we don't take care of it, thank you very much.
So if you're Sephardic, you wake up at 4 a.m. and hear it. Honestly, I've went to one time. If you're Ashkenazi, you do it in the middle of the night, like we do on Slichot.
Right.
I'm not sure which is better. We're going to rise for Aleinu, page 586. It's not enough for us just to pray. Let's go out and do good deeds in this world.
Exactly. Okay. Now, actually, okay.
She's got a different prayer book, so it has different
I've
numbers.
got 2 pages in mine. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gedula le'otzer reshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gon aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishpachim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamachim, hakadosh baruch hu.
Page 591.
V'ne'eman v'hayadonai l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
On that day, all will be one and God will be one. I invite you to be seated at this point. We turn to the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. If you look in your leaflet on the back, that is our list of names we're thinking about tonight in the leaflet here. We are thinking about Anne Marie Carasello, who lost her father, Nicholas Carasello, this past week. May his memory be for a blessing. On our Shloshim list from this past month, those who died this past month, we're remembering Harold Brody, George Bukowski, Norma Jean Harris, Helene Mesh, Donnie Perlman, Gary Ralston, Irving Slater, and Paul Staley. On our yard-side list from years past, we remember Harold Arbite, Lois Stam Bagel, Joseph Barmack, Marty Bates, Francis Chertoff, Joseph DeVita, Sophie Finkelstein, Joel Giller, David Glickman, Joseph Gross, Philip Klein, Verna Klein, Sophie Liederman, Moses Levinson, Israel Laval, Charles Levy, Ruth Meyer Lewis, Jesue Malucci, Jack Millman, Sarah Mitchell, Bessie A. Mitnick, Warren Mitofsky, Bess Painter, Jacob Pleskow, Pauline Reingold, Alan Rossner, Paul Schneider, Myron Silver, Sanford Solander, Bernice Solidatsky, Leonard Stein, and Ray Weinberg. If there's other names you're thinking about, just raise your hand.
Marilyn Miller.
We bring all those names into our heart, page 598. Invite those whose custom it is to rise. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Yalma divrach v'yotei v'yamlik malchutei, v'chayachon v'yamachon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei maya, yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, Yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu, Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, damiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlamar Rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imru ma, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony and high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world, and we say amen. You may be seated. Zikronam lebracha, may their memories be for a blessing. I'd like to invite over Joanne Marcusy to give our announcements today.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's great to see you all. We'd like to thank our service greeters this evening, Marcia Bougie and Sheila Bernard Tucker. And I'd also like to thank Adam Biter. It's his last Shabbat with us before going back to college for doing our town. And also Kyle Burt for doing our outdoor setup. Very special thank you to Rabbi Alex and Dr. Yonina Foster for a beautiful service in honor of Shabbat. Our virtual offering tomorrow, there's only one. It's Torah study at 9 a.m. via Zoom. Check out our website for the link, and I'm happy to say that our Shabbat morning service will be in person under this tent tomorrow morning at 11. Let me know if you'd like to join us. We're very excited to announce a 4-session class that is being offered by Yonina called Heshsan Hanafesh. Looking for you to prepare with a Heshsan Hanafesh, a personal accounting and inventory of the soul before Rosh Hashanah. The class will meet on 4 Tuesday evenings from 6:15 to 7:15 via Zoom. And please see Yonina if you have any questions, and please see me if you'd like to register. We'd also like to point out we're trying to cut back on our announcements, and we've now put them into the service leaflet, so feel free to take it home. The upcoming events. If you'd like to take it home as a reminder, that would be great. If you need anything, feel free to reach out to Rabbi Alex, Cantor Frank when she's back, Todd, Bruce, or myself. We're here for you. And Shabbat Shalom, please help yourself. Our Oneg to go is being set up as we speak. If you'd ever like to sponsor an Oneg or an Oneg to go, please let me know. It can be for a special occasion or no occasion at all. Have a wonderful weekend. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Joanne. And thank you for all that she does, set up our community here. All right, Adam, let's bring you over here and let us give you a little blessing. Why don't we give him the priestly blessing here? It's a surprise. You can do it together if you like. Okay, come on over here. Oh, don't worry, I got it.
okay.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and watch over you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God shine God's light upon you and grant you comfort. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God lift God's face to you and grant you and all of us peace. Amen. We'll turn now to our closing melody where we began. It's, like I said, a circle. We begin in one place and end at the same place, 653, with Dodi Li.
Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Mizot ola min hamidbar, mizot ola mekuteret mor, moru levona, moru levona. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Libavtini achoti kala, libavtini kala, libavtini achoti kala, libavtini kala. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Uri tzafon uvawi teman, Uri tzafon uvawi teman. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim.
We bring out our service greeters over here, Sheila and Marcia. Do you want to hold up our challah? They make such a good team together. Let's recognize their excellent effort here. Here, say it right into there.
Oh, there we go.
As you came in peace, may you leave in peace. Please return your prayer books minus the leaflet over to the front. Shabbat shalom.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom.